In today's video, I want to focus on stealing photo ideas to make your photography even better and unique. Hi guys, my name's Elliott Gerrard. I'm a British photographer based in Montreal and I shoot portraits, weddings, bands, all kinds of stuff, mainly people. And today I want to concentrate on a subject which I know is a little bit controversial. So I'm going to be very careful to explain why there's a big difference between stealing, borrowing, copying, and just downright plagiarism. Now, the late great David Bowie once said, "The only art I'll ever study is stuff that I can steal from." And Salvador Dali would probably agree with him because he said, "Those who do not want to imitate anything produce nothing." As photographers, we're overwhelmed every day with images from adverts to Instagram to cinema to photo books and magazine articles. So if you're a beginner, you'll be thinking, how am I going to make photos which will be original and stand out and help me build a career? But what exactly is originality anyway? William Ralph Inge called originality undetected plagiarism, hinting that nothing was truly original and that we're all a sum of what has come before us. A big chunk of what you'll hear in this video is not my original thought. It's developed from me watching YouTube videos by people like Daniel Titchener and reading books like Steal Like an Artist. But the way that I put this video together using research that I've made together with my own thoughts as a photographer, that has never been done before. The word steal is probably a bit too evocative and probably not exactly accurate about the process that I'm going to explain. But what I'm trying to do is give you a few tips and tricks and ideas that you can use, especially at the beginning of your photography journey, to find your way and find your style and find the kind of images that resonate with you, and then go and create more of those images. The one thing which is truly unique is you, and the person behind the camera is unlike any person that's held a camera in their hand before. And that is a very important part of what will determine how your photos become unique and true to you. But even you are a product of the people that came before you. You are genetically made up from not only your parents, but also your grandparents and their parents. And you're also influenced by the way you were brought up by your mum and dad and their lifestyle and their beliefs, and all of that goes together to produce something that is completely unique, you. And in the same way, every photograph that you ever see is kind of a mashup of ideas and visuals that the photographer has consciously or subconsciously used to influence them and influence their style over the years. If you're going to steal ideas from other photographers, then you should pick and choose the ones that resonate with you the most and discard the rest. And if you take ideas from multiple photographers, maybe even hundreds of photographers, then what you create from all those influences will end up being just like a big mashup of ideas that become things that resonated the most with you. And that is your personality, that is your mind. And then that goes on to create pictures that are truly unique, authentic, and very much your style. I will happily admit that when I first started out 15 years ago, I was paying attention to what other photographers were doing. I was studying their pictures to try and work out how they've been made. And then I was going out and making my own very similar copies of those, or trying to put my own twist on it. So with weddings, I was copying people like the images found. I was copying ideas that I saw from Sean Flanagan. With my music and portrait photography, I've always loved Anton Corbijn, so I was paying attention to what I was seeing in photo books by Anton Corbijn. And then when I would go out with a band, I always had those ideas in the back of my mind, and it helped me develop my own style over time. And the thing about those photographers that were influencing me is they were actually all very different. So what I was taking from each was just like little bits and pieces, and that would all kind of come together to hopefully create something brand new. But don't just take ideas from photographers, take ideas from movies and books and paintings and music videos and advertising. Anything that you see that is a visual source of inspiration is something that will all kind of add up to give you a style that is unique. Even the great Francis Ford Coppola said, "We want you to steal from us. We want you at first to steal from us because you can't steal. You'll take what we give you and you'll put that in your own voice, and that's how you'll find your voice." So study the pictures that resonate with you the most and try and work out what it is about them that captures your imagination. Is it the framing, the composition? Is it the colors in the images? Is it how clean and simple they are? Is it the expression of the people in the images? Or is it just something completely random, or the quirkiness of the image, the tones? Try and work out if it's because how they use the shadows and light. Whatever it is, those things will be something that you are going to want to develop in your style and will help you find your voice in photography. Learn about photography basics like the rule of thirds and see if you can spot those elements in the images that you're drawn to, or if they're just not there at all. And then you'll start to understand what it is about photography that you are trying to achieve. In jazz music, they say to play jazz, you first need to learn all of the rules about jazz and then start to break them. Also pay attention to pictures that you don't like, because there might be a common thread running through all the kind of pictures that don't really resonate with you, and you'll see something in those images that maybe gives you an idea of what you don't want to do as a photographer, and you can concentrate on doing the stuff that you do want to do. There's plenty of big famous photographers earning big bucks on massive campaigns, but their work just doesn't really do anything for me, and I'm not going to name any names, but that's absolutely fine. Now, I'm absolutely not saying that you should copy other photographers all the time, but especially at the beginning of your journey in photography, copying the pictures that you're seeing that resonate with you can help you build up an understanding and train your brain to work out how those images are made, and that can help you to define your style. Basically, you're developing an understanding of the images you're destined to create. If you closely copy another photographer's image, then just treat that as a learning process. I wouldn't use that picture in your portfolio or even anywhere online maybe. Just treat it like a lesson in understanding how the picture was created, and then use that experience to go on and develop your own version of that. That is a form of research. It is not really plagiarism, because plagiarism is taking somebody's work and trying to pass it off as your own. Copying someone's style is a bit more like a band playing cover versions until they learn the skill of songwriting. Even the Beatles started out as a cover band and then went on to be the most successful original band of all time. But try and take your influences from all over the place, like I say. Somebody once said, if you steal from one author, it's plagiarism. If you steal from many, it's research. Oh, by the way, guys, if you get anything useful out of this video, please just hit that little like button. It'll take you no time at all, and I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks for that. Oh, and subscribe. Do that too. Yeah. Look at an image and try and deconstruct it. Try and guess which lens was used. Look at the angle that the photographer chose for that picture. What did they leave in? And maybe try and guess what they left out. And what is in focus, what's not in focus, and where is the eye drawn to in the image. Look at the lines, look at the shadows, and then deconstruct everything that went into creating that image that resonated with you, and then taking those ideas to go off and create ideas of your own. The rapper J. Cole said that Jay-Z was his mentor a long time before he actually became his mentor and they met. And that is because he just studied his style and the way he approached his music long before they actually started collaborating. So study your heroes. Your heroes are going to be completely different to another person's, and it's the sum of your influences which will help you develop your style. Now, your heroes don't have to be photographers. They could be musicians, they could be movie directors, they could even be people that you know. And just think, if they were given a camera to take pictures, what would they create? Maybe it becomes something completely unique and different to any of the photographers that you're paying attention to. And what about if all your heroes were in a room together and working on a project together? What would they create? What would that look like? Those kind of thoughts will manifest into you going out and creating something which is unlike anything that you've actually seen before, because you're trying to create images that you want to see, and therefore eventually you go out and create those images for yourself, and then maybe people start copying you. Be aware of your own weaknesses, but also be aware of your strengths, because I, for example, am a pretty good people person, and I seem to be naturally good at composition when I'm shooting, but I'm not a gearhead. I'm not super technical. So if you put me on a big set with tons of lights and lots of people moving around, then I would be way out of my depth. I love how Ed Sheeran describes his songwriting process, which he describes as being like a dirty tap. He said that when you turn the tap on, you get nothing but shitty water for a substantial amount of time, but eventually clean water comes through. You may still get the occasional piece of shit, but you need to get that out for the clean water to flow consistently. And basically that just means get out and create. Assume your work is going to be bad to begin with and just get through the process. Go out there, create, imitate other people that you like, and then work out why your imitation is not as good, and then go and do that again and try and make it better or reinterpret it with your own vision. By doing that, you're naturally training your brain to begin to determine what is bad, what is good, and why it's bad and why it's good. And over time, that becomes something which becomes more and more of your vision and more authentic. This is exactly how science works. Scientists will learn from past research, and then they'll imitate that research, but with a slightly different variable. And that leads to innovation and ideas that change the world. So study your favorite photographers, be influenced by those people, but also study who their favorite photographers were, and maybe even who their favorite photographers were. Then you're not stealing their style, you're stealing the thought process behind their style. You don't want to look like your favorite photographers, you want to see like your favorite photographers. Most photographers, when they're starting out, they never get past their bad period, and we all have them, trust me. But you want to get past that and trust that the clean water will come. And a big tip is stop worrying about being criticized, stop worrying about what other people think about your work. You'll be amazed at how little people give a shit. One of my favorite quotes ever is from Eleanor Roosevelt, who said, "You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do." Another good tip is to set up a folder or a gallery on your phone and start collecting images in that folder of any kind of pictures that move you. And that can be from magazines, from books, from other photographers, online, websites, whatever it is. But put them in that folder just for yourself and see if you can find a connection between those pictures and something that seems to run through them, some kind of style. And then go out with your own camera or even your phone and start trying to make pictures that would somehow fit into that gallery and not look out of place. There's a quote from Andy Warhol, which, to be honest, I should have in a frame on the wall because I love it so much. He said, "Don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they're deciding, make even more art." So get out there, make pictures, be influenced, and you will be a sum of all your influences. So make sure that you have lots of influences, copy ideas, deconstruct pictures, make your own version of them. And through all of that, your style will just somehow develop and you won't even realize from where. Get out, make pictures, have fun, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.